Welcome! We're gonna finish up Matthew's route today. Yay! And we're Prophet's here too. Yay!
Yay! Did you eat?
Wait, let me transition first. What was it? Wait. Did I what?
Did you eat?
Yes, I ate a full meal.
Yay! I'm so happy.
I know. I'm doing so good.
You're doing great, sweetie.
Thanks, Mom. Oh my gosh, but yeah, I ate food.
Yay!
Well, that's fun. But yeah, welcome to stream. We're finishing up Matthew's route today. Oh.
Yeah, we're gonna do
it. Yay!
Not like that!
Screaming! Yay! 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 But yeah, we're gonna play some more Seduce Me. We're gonna play Matthew's route, and it's gonna be super cute because this is Prophet's boy.
It is, and he's adorable.
It's your boy.
He is my boy.
You
I
love
my
him.
boy.
Your boy's very cute.
He's very, very cute. That's why I picked him immediately. I was like, oh, you are my type.
I find it very amusing to now know that I am taller than him. I take great pride in that. I take great pride in knowing that. But yes, we're gonna finish it up today, so let me just continue, not save. We finished up here, didn't we?
Yep.
Okay, well, start there. Just so that way we have a little better intro. Let me turn off the music so we can transition over. Are we ready, guys? Oh, I should probably open.
Captain.
I can't hear you.
Aye, Captain.
Okay, let me just get a window of chat so I can actually see what people are typing. Because well, not like I'm going to be able to read it anyways. I should probably also transition over so people can see. Oh god, the amount of times I've done that is embarrassing at this point. All right.
No.
There we go. You'll
You'll get the hang of it.
We'll see about that. No profit being there. You move profit. No. Stop it. No. Okay. No.
Hell yeah.
No. Stay there. There. I'm making sure there's nothing wrong with the stream. I'm so sorry. It's fine. Hell yeah.
It's all good.
Let's do this. Whatever. I can see that people are messaging. That's good enough. I was happy. That's the stream, guys. That's the stream. Let's go. We finished it. Let's go, Matthew. Oh.
Whoop.
You are an interesting creature.
And you are a
Oh,
bitch.
hello, you. Hello, bitch.
Oh, hi. Do we want to read this, or can we skip it?
Well, we can skip that. We've
seen this.
seen this.
You want to tell the boys, don't you?
I want to tell them.
I never tell them. I'm like,
also,
Damien.
Damien already knows.
I always go like, Damien, shut up. No, I'm not talking about this. Go, stop it. Get out of my head.
It's not like Diana does anything.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I haven't read this part. Damien pressed his lips together into a fine line. The other boys looked at me with a raised eyebrow. A girl named Diana came by last night.
Diana? Is she important?
Did she try to hurt you?
She's a succubus.
And a bitch.
And we're skipping! What would you like to say?
Oh, hell no!
Oh, hell no! And I've said this before. We... Did I?
So I'm gonna be petty with her. It doesn't matter what happens to the princess.
The rest of the class turned their heads to me. Naomi and Suzu looked at me with equally surprised looks. I kept my eyes on Diana. I'm sorry if you can hear my keyboard. I just got a new one. It's very clicky.
Clickety-clack.
If I was the mermaid, I wasn't going to let the princess take away my prince. Diana stared at me before smiling and turning her body to fully face me.
Oh? And why does it not matter?
The story isn't about the princess. The story is about the mermaid and the prince.
Ah, but that is exactly my point. While the story talks about the mermaid and the prince's romance, we don't see the problems of the kingdom the prince rules. While we are all fixated with this love story, we ignore the fact the kingdom would fall apart without the marriage between the prince and princess.
Yeah, I don't think Hans Christian Andersen gave two shits about that.
Tell that to the Brothers Grimm. She kept her...
Christian Andersen was too busy being a disaster bisexual. Emphasis on the disaster.
Yeah. She kept her eyes to me as she spoke. That's right. Wait, kept her eyes to me.
No, you read that right.
Okay. My brain is... Okay. I knew she wanted to make her words stick in my mind, but I didn't listen. It was one thing to be a fictional story. It was another to try and ruin someone's life for selfishness. Diana chuckled and looked back to the class.
Well, luckily in the real story of the Little Mermaid, the mermaid knows that what she was doing was wrong, and she threw herself into the ocean, turning into sea foam.
You forgot a part where where she was offered a dagger by her sisters to kill the prince in order to return to the sea, but in an act of mercy because of she loved him, she sacrificed herself in order for him to be happy.
She loved him, and even if it meant that she didn't get to be with him, he got to be happy, and that's what mattered.
Matthew would not be happy with you.
Matthew would not be happy with you. You get away from my man.
I'm
gonna fight you.
Some of the students surrounded me mumbled in surprise, obviously not knowing the real story. However, Diana was wrong once again. Yeah, not true.
That's not true. No, that's wrong.
Once again, the class looked to me and Diana faced me with another smile.
Not true. How so?
The trade-off for becoming human was marrying the prince or turning into sea foam. However, she was also given the choice to kill the prince and turn back into a mermaid. The mermaid didn't because she loved him and sacrificed herself for that love. That is the story worth telling, not some princess getting her way, but of a tragedy that had befallen on a girl who only wanted love. The class applauded me with Suzu giving me her usual punch to my shoulder and Naomi smiling at my logic. Diana, however, finally grew an almost angered face at me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what you are saying is that the princess should be given no mind.
It ain't her story.
The story is not about the princess. The story is about the mermaid, and the mermaid should have gotten her prince.
Even at the risk of a kingdom falling apart?
Even if the entire world fell apart around them, duty does not overrule love, and the princess needed to realize that. The applause that followed that intensified with whoops and hollers. I felt a wave of confidence roll through my body. Diana wasn't going to win. I wasn't going to let her win. Diana then stopped talking and looked to the clock on the wall, reading it quickly. This class had barely begun. Why was she looking at the time? Diana... Okay, we're skipping this. Bye! Matthew. Diana suddenly stopped in her tracks.
Matthew? Who is...
It then dawned on her.
Ah, one of the boys. Why don't you tell me which boy is Matthew?
I felt myself nod in compliance. The fourth. Diana giggled in reply, letting go of my face and stepping back.
Really? The child? With you?
Ma'am, he is an adult.
I'm barely a year younger than you. Well, it just brings me back to the dining room scene with Eric. Well, you certainly don't act like it. What did Matthew call him? An old fart? Ah, yes. Completely a mature person.
Though he's still not a child, he is still an adult.
Fair enough. I act worse. Let's be real. Matthew and I are basically the same age. We act the same. Except I cuss more.
He is Babby, but he is not a child. There is a difference.
So does that make me a baby but not a child? Because apparently I'm baby. I'm Babby.
You're Babby.
Okay. Okay. I nodded once again, but this time it was partly my own decision to reply. Diana let out a sound that mimicked a cat's purr before stepping away from me.
All right, then. Well, if it's the fourth son you're infatuated with, you should really rethink your romantic options.
No, I'm pretty certain with what I want. I want the cute one.
Diana chuckled before kissing my nose, where I felt a shot of energy zap out of my body, almost making me dizzy and recoil. Blah, blah, blah. Moving on. Okay, we'll go back a little bit.
I'm going to show you everything. You have to trust me, okay?
Hi,
the minute you stop trusting
Damien.
me, the
Hi,
vision
Bean.
will flash.
Hi, Bean. I'm smitten. Vision.
It'll be okay. Just trust
You're
me.
very smitten.
Listen! Man has a way with words. I will say. Man has a way with words.
For the one on the other end of that line.
Actually, before we continue, I have to share something with chat, with stream, and with you because it is incredibly funny.
Oh.
So I was literally looking, because for those who don't know, I have ADHD, meaning I have something here in Canada that's called an IEP, which is an individual education plan, which basically states what my issues are and what I need.
Yeah, no, we have those in the States.
Yeah. So I was reading over it, and this was taken back when I was very young. So I was reading it, and it says assessed strengths, expressive language, speaking, and communication skills. Can you guess what the assessed needs are?
Reading and math.
Literacy skills, memory skills, numeracy skills, repetitive language skills, comprehension, and decoding. Bitch said I could not read, and I still can't. I literally still can't read. But yeah, no, I thought people would find that funny. Literally on a summary of results for assessment. Report indicates
Story time with chat.
Yeah, report indicates attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, combined type and learning disability, reading, mathematics, written expression.
Damn, I must have gotten the other kind of ADHD because I'm good at reading and I was good at math.
The thing that they missed, because we didn't find out I had it till I'm now older, I have dyslexia. So I switched my words.
Oh my
I
God,
have dyslexia. So I couldn't read then. I can't read now.
Oh no, insanity.
Oh dear. Don't help you read, doctor. Come on! Fun fact, I actually disagree with their analysis on my memory skill, because when I was a child, in order to have my mother give my mother something to show off me about, I memorized an entire storybook from a one-time read-through by my teacher and then recited it to her while going through the pages. So I disagree with the memory part. I heard a book once and I recited it to my mother like hours after I heard it.
Memory is a weird thing.
I'm about
at least in my
short-time
own
memory.
experience with ADHD.
My short-time memory is garbage. I'm like fucking looking mortuary assistant. What am I doing? God, guys, come on! Y'all! What do you mean?
Oh, no.
What do you mean?
Man!
Chat bullying me. What do you mean, guys? I'm being
Don't worry,
bullied.
I got this.
Thank you.
No more bullying.
Bonked. I'm protected by Puffet. Back up.
I will put these bugs to good use.
Yay! All right, let's keep going. I just wanted to share that because I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
I looked to Matthew, unsure of what was going on, but I nodded. If this was the only way to learn, then this was my chance to know. Okay, we're gonna skip it ahead. Demon Lord, children, Mac Mignata, whatever.
Demon boys.
Okay. After what seemed like Acres upon acres. After what seemed like hours, I finally woke up, slightly refreshed. My body knew that if I slept any longer, it'd be up all night, which was not part of the plan for the day. Would disagree, that sounds like a great day. I rubbed my eyes and sat up, letting a soft groan escape my lips. In response, something beside my bed shuffled, causing me to look over. I didn't know what I was expecting. Beside me, sitting in a chair beside the bed, that's wordy, was Matthew, rousing himself up to see me awake. I smiled at him, seeing his slightly ruffled hair and tired eyes.
Oh, you're awake. How do you feel?
Oh my god, insanity. You'll get your turn later. Alright, what you feeling? How you feeling?
Feeling better now that he's here.
Matthew nodded before he looked down at the bed, taking my hands into his.
I'm really sorry. I'm really, really sorry.
Oh.
No, it's not your fault.
Matthew, it's not your fault.
No, please listen. I know that Diana and Malix have come after you because of us, so it's our fault that you're constantly in danger.
That's not your fault, honey. I promise. Diana's just a bitch, and Malix is Malix.
If I hadn't convinced everyone to come to the human world, we would have never been attacked by Malix and hunted down and brought you in danger and...
No, honey.
Whoops. I quickly rushed over and put a finger over his lips, stopping him from going any further. I didn't want to hear another word.
Please don't talk down about yourself. You're amazing.
Matthew, it's okay. I wanted to help you out. I offered to let you all stay. Nothing is your fault. I gently moved my hand and cupped Matthew's cheeks, staring at him with concern. I didn't want him to hold guilt in his mind about this whole ordeal. Diana was desperate, and she'd hunt anyone for them. It wasn't his fault. She was desperate enough to hunt them down. However,
Exactly.
I got curious. So, Matthew, you're noble? You're 20? 20? Matthew looked at me and gave me a goofy smile.
I was once, but even if I had the title, I didn't really feel like a noble.
How come?
Well, I was the fourth noble son of the Demon Lord. With Eric and Sam ahead of me in case James couldn't fulfill his duties, there was no way I was getting the throne. So, I spent the majority of my time trying to make my mother happy. She was always unhappy.
I'm sorry, but you had only Eric in your way. Sam was not an issue.
Sam can't even read.
Nah, he can't. He didn't care enough. The only time he wanted to learn was when I was involved. And he's like, wait, I want to write for her. I'm like, damn, poetic. Unhappy? How come?
Well, my dad was kind of, well, he married 4 different women. Each of us came from a different mother, and my mother was the last to be married and bear a son. The thing with succubi, though, is that they get jealous very easily.
I can imagine. Like, you just look at Diana. So, so what happened?
The other wives got mad and scorned each other. It wasn't violent, but we never ate together for a reason.
Oh.
My mom, though, was too proud to have jealousy. She was the last woman the Demon Lord married, so she felt important. She felt that because he stopped marrying, she had the charm to stop his marrying spree.
Matthew let out a small laugh, a hint of depression lingering in his breath he let out.
But then the Demon Lord took another woman and she bore him a son outside of wedlock. Damien. The wives, including my mother, were furious. In response, the Demon Lord had a spell cast on them, turning them into spiritual orbs.
Oh, my poor Damien. Poor mean. That's horrible. Matthew nodded, pressing his lips together in both agreement and sadness.
They could never have physical form, and they lost all their powers. They became slaves trapped in the Demon Lord's castle. However, they were kept alive to make sure their sons grew up to be competent demons.
I'm sorry. Matthew gently shrugged.
Do you need a hug? Do you need a hug, honey?
He'd like that.
Come here, let me give you a hug.
Matthew gently shrugged, letting out a small, nostalgic smile. Grace, what? Letting
You're
letting a
Jack.
small, nostalgic smile grace his lips. Okay, no, I did read that wrong.
She taught me how to be a demon, though. Not just a demon, a grown adult demon. I read books, I learned strategy, everything that James was doing under the Demon Lord's watch. Only, I trained with just my mother.
Oh my god, he sounded so proud when he said adult demon. He's so proud of
Considering
himself.
everyone keeps calling him a child.
He's so proud. He's so proud.
Not
She
even the
wanted me to
youngest.
surprise the Demon Lord one last time, and maybe take the throne away from James.
Oh. Matthew then reached out into his pocket and took out a small mirror.
Here, I'll show you.
Ah.
Oh.
Matthew handed it to me and sent a wave of blue mist into it. It began to glow until it enveloped the room in a bright light. When the light had subsided, I was back in the main hall of the Demon Castle. I looked around, feeling unable to move, but I could practically see everything as clear as I had before. However, my focus gathered on Matthew, sitting on the throne as if it was his, and reading a book. For some reason, Matthew reminded me of James at that moment. He seemed engrossed in his reading each word and absorbing each meaning. Him on the throne surprisingly fit him, though there was something about him,
This is an easy read.
I wish I had that problem, Matthew. I'm as illiterate as Sam and Damien.
Oh, come on. They're not as bad as they are.
Are you kidding me? Might I remind you of the multiple times you have laughed at me during streams because of what I've read, because it wasn't even close to the sentence.
Only laugh when it's especially interesting.
I'm so badly. My God, I was watching Instagram reels and I popped on this one and it was like, if you read this correctly, you're dyslexic. And I was like, what are you talking about? So I scrolled away and then scrolled back and then I actually like broke the sentence down. I hadn't read it properly at all.
Oh no!
I had read it so wrong because there were a bunch of words like moved around. And dyslexic people read it smoothly because our brain processes words backwards. And so we move words around to make the sentence work. Normal people wouldn't have read what we read, but we did. It was a day. A saddened cry, however, echoed through the hall, forcing Matthew to stop, close his book, and stand from the throne.
Mother?
Oh.
I looked around, confused at the cry and where it was coming from. It seemed to just echo through the room without any source of direction. Matthew sighed and placed the book on the armrest of the throne before he cupped his hands together.
Fly and comfort her, will you?
As Matthew opened his hands, a small bird with blue and purple feathers perked up from the hiding place. Matthew smiled before releasing it into the air. I watched as it flew off and glided through an open archway. The sound of its flapping wings faded into the air as it flew farther into the castle.
Come on.
I could tell that Matthew was holding his breath. He must have cared very deeply for his mother. It was incredibly sweet.
He's a sweetheart.
At last, the sound of crying stopped, making Matthew release a happy sigh.
There we go.
Matthew cracked his knuckles in approval, feel that, and reached for his book. However, before he could even graze the cover with his fingers, the sound of pattering entered the room.
You, foot son, away from the throne!
All right,
You
all
ain't
right.
What am I going to do with you? You're a child.
You're not my
He's an
father!
adult. He's an adult.
Matthew glared at the servant as the servant quickly brushed the throne off, like there was dust all over it.
The next time I see you on the throne, I will inform the Demon Lord. Understand?
Yes.
Yeah, that's such a kid response, though. I'm like, yes, okay, thank you, goodbye, canceled. The demon servant continued to brush over the throne before knocking the book from the armrest. Matthew froze as the servant quickly patted over and picked it up.
What is this? A book? Why do you have it?
I was reading.
You read? You don't need to read. You're never going to need knowledge for anything, fourth son.
I'm about to throw hands.
It's an illusion, Prophet. I saw
I
Matthew.
don't care. Leave him alone.
I saw Matthew's eye twitch, making me grimace. This servant sure had a mouth. It was annoying at the very least.
I'll just take this book and bring it to the heir himself to read. He's reading faster than the library can provide.
Nerd.
But that's...
Restro's next area of study.
The servant began to walk away, ignoring Matthew's glare of anger. The servant stopped, however, to look to Matthew to pound one more nail into the wound.
Let's face it, kid. You have the smallest horns, the smallest frame, and the least amount of power among the noble sons. You'll never be like them, so just stop trying. Use your incubus powers on others who have a child fetish or something.
Oh, God!
Let me at him! Let me at him!
The demon looked at Matthew up and down before rushing off wherever he came from. As the servant disappeared, Matthew summoned a knife and chucked it at the direction where the servant left. The knife embedded itself into the hard stone beside the door into the hall.
Yeah, you better run.
Disgusting pig fawn.
Matthew walked over and sat on the foot of the throne, clearly aggravated. Eventually, Matthew stopped the magic, lowering the mirror and holding it to his hand before looking to me.
I had hoped to show you my mother, but I guess the mirror wanted to show you something else.
That servant is terrible.
I'll kill
Tell
him
me
if I
about
ever
it.
see him.
He served the demon lord almost his whole life. Ugly pig fawn.
Matthew laughed while I laughed at the insult. It was good to see Matthew in a good mood, despite good spirits, despite what was shown and what was happening around us. Still, it was sad to see that he was considered the child of the noble sons. He could read books of knowledge that his brother hadn't read, and he seemed caring. It was insulting to see someone tear him down like that. Matthew smiled at me before pocketing the mirror.
Whatever. Thankfully, we got out of there, so I could be with my brothers like a normal family. No hierarchies, no politics, no pig fawns, nothing.
I
What
smiled.
you deserve.
It was good that he saw the positive side. However, his face slowly turned to a sad one before he looked down at the bed. Matthew?
You've done a lot for me and my brothers, sheltering us, letting us continue to live here. It may not seem like much, but for us it's everything.
I'm glad you're here.
But I don't want you to get hurt because of us.
I watched in
honey.
speechless silence as Matthew lifted his head, his eyes almost full of hopelessness.
That's why I'm sorry.
Matthew lowered his head in shame. I couldn't help but feel my heart squeeze within my chest at the sight. He truly cared. Matthew let out a small sigh before looking to me with a new smile. He hid his sadness well, but I could tell he was still upset about the whole ordeal.
All right. You need to sleep and I need to make dinner. I'll wake you up when dinner is done.
Oh,
No,
baby.
thank you, honey.
Matthew gently pressed me back down onto the bed, resolved in what had happened. Blah, blah, blah. Yes.
Yes.
There you go. I couldn't let him leave without doing something. I quickly pulled Matthew down to me, lifted my head, and gently kissed him, softly laying a hand on his cheek to keep his face up close. Matthew stared in deep surprise before hesitantly kissing me back, caressing my cheek and slightly melting at the touch of our lips. A soft sigh escaped his lips before he slowly pulled away with a smile. He gently licked his lips, making me go red in the face at the simple gesture. He let out a satisfied sigh before nuzzling my forehead.
Go to sleep.
Go to sleep. Go to bed. Go to bed.
Go to bed.
And with that, he stood up and left the room, leaving me to rest as per his request. I smiled to myself before relaxing into the mattress. Oh, fuck you.
Bitch. Don't you fucking dare!
I suddenly tensed up. I felt majorly
Majorly.
that's the, was that really?
Oh,
That's how you spell it?
majorly. Yep, that's how you pronounce it.
You can't blame me for thinking that's majorly.
No, I'm not.
I felt majorly uneasy. Something wasn't right. I felt it in my core. She must be here. The thought of her in the house. She must be here. Goodbye, Ukia.
I was just thinking the same thing. Our fantasy like that has the same energy as goodbye, Ukia.
We pick her up and we throw her out the window. The thought of her
We're
in
bombing up.
the thought of her in the house infuriated me beyond belief. I had to make sure she was not here.
Get
I rolled
the
out
fuck
of-
out of my house.
I rolled out of bed and quickly left my room, wandering the halls and listening closely. Where she was a demon, but I was listening very intently. What does that have to do with anything? She's a demon, so okay. And I'm listening. She's a demon, but I can hear. What? That's so.
She might be a demon, but I have good hearing.
There was no way she would have been able to sneak up on me. That is such a fucking lie. She's done it before. I know
No,
you're.
honey, she'd sneak up on you.
I know you're here. Where are you? I could feel myself growl. It wasn't a matter of fear that she'd take away the boys anymore. Her very existence had lit a fire of rage within my gut, which only grew as each day went by. This feud was getting on my nerves, and I knew it would not end well for one of us. I wasn't going to lose to that demon bitch.
That demon bitch. Bitch.
Leave me. Oh, it's Matthew. I thought that was awesome. Leave me alone. Hold on, I want to give Matthew a chance to actually say his line.
Leave me alone.
There we go. My heart stopped. Diana was with Matthew. My mind flew into slow motion, playing fake images of Diana trying to seduce Matthew in my head to further fan the anger of flames inside me. I instinctively followed Matthew's voice. Yeah.
Inside my knee.
Inside my me. Fuck! Did I actually say that?
Yes.
Oh shit. Yo, no, it's not inside of me, it's inside my me.
Inside my knee.
I instinctively followed Matthew's voice. I was approaching the grand lobby and followed the commotion to the dining room. The sound was echoing from the kitchen, so I peeked inside while hiding around the corner. I almost growled at the sight. Matthew was holding to one side of the kitchen's island counter, with Diana holding the other side, looking to him with a smirk.
Oh, come on, Matthew. Don't you like games? A game of tag sounds so fun.
Not with you!
Get away from my man.
I could just see your little bean just walking in. He's like, go. Get out.
Not with you. Now go away.
Fuck off.
Wounded, truly. Did I go too far?
You went too far when you came here and attacked her.
Pity. And here I thought I was going to offer you the chance to become something better than just a simple incubus.
What was Diana going on about? More than just an incubus. She was insane.
How about becoming the next demon lord?
I froze. What did she mean? Becoming the next demon lord? The boys weren't in the demon world anymore. They had no claim to the throne anymore. Matthew stared at Diana, which made me worry.
The next demon lord?
Well, currently, I'm the contracted bride to the heir to the throne. Since the throne is open, it's available to any son of the demon lord's line.
Well, that sounds like such a rap. I'm the contracted bride to the heir to the throne. That sounds like a rap. Michaela rap battles part 2.
Think about it. You'll gain the throne, the land, and a bride to continue your lineage with. Doesn't that
Bitch,
sound
I'm
like
right
a
here.
perfect life for an incubus like
Bitch,
you?
I'm right here.
You'll show your father and mother how grown up you are. That you're not just some little cute boy people can take for granted.
I could feel myself gripping my fists tightly in anger. How dare this girl try to convince Matthew to return to the demon world? He ran away from it. He didn't have to go back. He shouldn't go back. My mind began to
How dare you!
How dare? My mind began to wander, imagining him saying yes. He would leave and the brothers would follow to bring him back. They'd be trapped because Diana would make sure they could never leave. Matthew would be the new demon lord with Diana as his queen, and I'd lose him.
Like I would believe you.
You don't need to believe me, Matthew. You just need to come back home with me. I promise you'll be respected as you were supposed to be.
I'm not falling for it.
Fall for what? The truth? The truth is that your brothers still treat you like a child, even though the demon world is far behind you. The truth is that your little human love affair is fleeting. She can never see you as a man, just as a little boy who wants to grow up.
Oh, profit!
Bitch, he is an adult! He is an adult man, and I would never be treating him as some little boy!
Have you even read his wiki page?
Have you even read his wiki page?
Because,
Gonna murder her.
Because, like, there's some stuff on there. I'm like, oh, that's adult things to enjoy.
I can assure you, he's an adult.
Though, him listening to I'm a Barbie girl in his head while Damien tries desperately not to read his mind is very funny.
That's hilarious,
That
though.
is so funny. I need the voice actor of Matthew to just start singing it one of these days.
Oh, that'd be so good.
That'd be
please.
great. Oh my god, can we have a short story of Damien accidentally, like reading the boys' thoughts and they just start singing their songs? Or, like, we hear the classical music start playing? Please! I'd pay for that.
Michaela,
Stop
please.
I stared as Matthew chucked a handful of knives at Diana, who ducked and dodged them with ease. They dug themselves into the wall tile before fading away, as if they didn't exist.
You dare attack me?
I'm not going back. And that is final.
Oh!
You tell her.
I could see Matthew's muscles tense and flex, wanting to attack Diana. The girl in question, however, took a deep breath and looked to Matthew with a pleading look.
You won't even return to your mother? She's been crying ever since you left.
Do not bring her into this.
Matthew glared as Diana circled the island towards him.
She begged me to bring you back. She wants you to get what you deserve.
Why do I find that
throne.
very unlikely?
I don't believe you.
Matthew then walked away from Diana, heading to the fridge to start dinner, as if she wasn't there. Diana stopped and leaned against the counter.
She'll never love you, you know.
Fucking watch me.
I don't mind. I care for her.
Aw.
The human girl? You must be joking. A human like her can't possibly provide you what you need. She's a human. You're a demon.
Have you lost your senses
He's a
completely?
human. You're a mermaid.
I don't care.
She's a human. You're a mermaid.
Oh God, classics.
I had to.
Oh, trust me, I also thought the same thing. We share a brain cell. Our mitochondria are in sync. It's very-
powerhouse
that's-
cell.
I felt the urge to storm in and shut her mouth. I would give away my position, but I was growing extremely tired of Diana.
Barge in.
I decided to be assertive and quickly stepped into the room, rushing to be in front of Matthew. And Diana and Matthew looked at me in surprise as I glared daggers at Diana. Get out.
Well, well, little human. You're awfully nosy in business that doesn't concern you.
It does concern me.
Does it? I don't think a human would understand the importance of this affair.
You're asking him to leave to be someone he doesn't want to be. That's not going to happen.
Oh? And what makes you so sure about that?
I love him.
Diana stared in shock at my what's the word?
Exclamation.
Exclamation. Thank you. Was it not what she expected? I didn't care what she expected. I wasn't going to lose the man I had grown to love.
You love him?
Yes, I love him. Diana's lips twitched, the edge curling into an amused smirk as she stared at me.
So what? A human's love isn't enough to understand the situation. A demon can never reciprocate human feeling.
To both of our surprises, however, Matthew stepped forward and put an arm around me, pulling me close to his body.
I love her.
Yeah!
I saw the confidence Diana had shatter in her eyes as she stared at Matthew at his words. I could see the struggle in her face to try and find some weakness in Matthew. In me, anything.
A demon love a human? Impossible.
You heard me. I love her, Diana. I'd do anything for her. And she cares for me more than anyone in the abyssal plane ever had. More than you'll ever know. She makes me feel like the adult I'm supposed to be. And there's nothing you can do to change that. Ever.
Yeah!
Diana took a step back, physically feeling the sting of Matthew's words in her chest. She had lost. I could see it in her eyes. Diana's eyes grew dull as she glared at me and Matthew. It seemed almost uncharacteristic of her, yet it was something I wasn't surprised to see come from her.
Very well. Fine. Valet.
I'm sorry, every time I hear valet, I think she's calling for, like, the car valet. Oh, this is, like, the same word. She's exiting.
Sarah pulling up in a car.
Yes, Sarah. And with that, Diana faded into the ground. Bye, bitch! Into the purple pentagram. Bye! Crossing her arms and almost looking upset. Matthew and I were then left alone, left with the silence of the room. I finally let the air I was unconsciously holding in my chest relax from the ordeal. Matthew stepped to me and held me gently, surprising me.
Are you all right?
I nodded in response, unable to speak so immediately after being surprised. Matthew let out a sigh, relaxing in the embrace. I gently placed my hands around him, returning the embrace slightly. I could hear Matthew's heartbeat. He held me close in his arms, and I felt safe beyond words. Are you okay?
Of course I'm okay. I'm holding you.
I looked up at Matthew, surprised at what he said. Matthew blushed, moving a strand of hair from my face to look down at me.
You mean so much to me. You make me feel like more than just a kid. I've never felt this happy before with anyone. And here you are giving me every reason to love you.
It's
I
why
love
you
so
deserve.
friggin' much.
Prophet's quite happy, guys. Chat.
I'm
those are-
happy. I love him.
I stared wide-eyed, blushed like a maniac. Was this for real? Was this for real? Was this real? No way. This couldn't be real. Was Matthew confessing to me? Confessing his love for me?
For me?
Little old me?
Me being all like, hard eyes, motherfucker.
Matthew gently caressed my cheek, staring into my eyes with a loving, almost hopeful gaze. The warmth of his hand invited me to nuzzle into it. Closing my eyes, this wasn't a dream. My heart was pounding hard enough where I was sure Matthew could hear it. Matthew gently leaned in, closing his eyes. He stopped, however, remaining just mere torturous inches away from my lips. He wanted me to show my feelings for him. He left himself open for me to kiss him or leave him empty. The power I had was unbelievable.
Kiss him. Kiss the boy.
I loved him, and I wanted to give him exactly what he wanted. I gently leaned in, letting my lips finally touch his, gingerly. Matthew let out almost a surprised gasp against my lips before wrapping both his arms around my waist, pulling me close to him. I moved my arms up and around his neck, feeling the kiss between us deepen to a heated height. My chest was pounding, making me feel and see fireworks in my mind. Matthew was everything I desired. He was the man I wanted, demon or not. It was so supernatural to fall in love with someone so quickly. Maybe it was the sense of magic I was thrown into. Maybe it was Cupid playing with my heart. Either way, I found myself melting into the thought of him being with me. I found myself combing my fingers through Matthew's hair, making the man holding me softly tremble at my touch. That's on his wiki page. He gently nibbled my lower lip. He gently nibbled my lower lip, asking me to deepen the kiss between us even further. I easily teased him before finally opening my mouth slightly for him. His tongue gently danced with mine as one of his hands slid up my back and cradled my head. He gently leaned my body back, making me cling to him as the heat of our kiss rose higher and higher. Gently, though, Matthew slowed the kiss down and pulled away, staring down at me. His eyes burned for me, wanting me to melt, and buckled in his arms. I could feel myself melt away. Matthew opened his mouth to speak, but a very small brush ran along his cheeks. Wait, fuck! No! Wait. But a very small blush ran across his cheeks. He was reduced to a shy silence. Oh my god, my English is garbage today.
I'm not quite
Oh my god! Jesus Christ!
Oh my god,
Sure.
I heard
This
that!
could respond.
Hold on.
Oh my god!
That scared the shit out of me! Oh my god.
Oh my god!
Hey, Prophet, do you mind reading for the rest of this?
Matthew opened his mouth to speak, but as a very small blush ran along his cheeks, he was reduced to shy silence. I stared as he tried to find the words to say in my eyes. I knew exactly what he wanted. He didn't need energy, though, right?
Oh, I need some milk. Oh. Are you
Are
okay?
you?
You can read, go for it.
Are you?
No, I just...
I stared wide-eyed, feeling a blush on my cheeks grow. He didn't say anything more, but I knew what words would have followed if he continued. He wanted me. I was stunned. Was I that appealing to him? Was his passion really that deep for me?
What are these words? Girls in an Otome. She's in an Otome in her head and in this game. Oh boy.
Matthew gently nuzzled my forehead, losing the blush and finally being able to speak.
If you don't want to, we don't have to. I mean, it's up to you.
By the way, stream, we're going
Aw.
over time because we're gonna get this done.
Yeah, we're like right at the end.
Yeah.
I could feel my mind go numb and purr at the idea. A moment with an incubus. It was a demon of sex, the purest form of lust and desire. My world would rock and I would enjoy every second of it. Plus, we also started a bit late, so...
Yeah,
We can go
let's just
late.
say ADHD got distracted with pretty colors.
Yeah, no, I was even like,
Prophet was like, Kita, you coming?
you awake? At the same time, I was indeed inexperienced. Diana wasn't wrong when she claimed me to be innocent. Did I want to give that innocence to him? Especially this early? I found myself forgetting the words yes and no. What could I say to him? I knew then what I wanted, but how to say it without breaking the moment?
Title drop. Your pick, Prophet.
I was assuming that we weren't gonna go for it since YouTube.
Oh, I did it with Damien. I didn't get striked.
Oh!
Yep.
Okay, then let's go for it!
All right. Have fun.
I couldn't believe the two words that came out of my mouth.
Yeah,
It
neither
made
can
the
I.
most sense to tell him yes.
Neither can I.
I needed him. I wanted him.
Kisses, Boogie.
Those two words must have made something in him finally break.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's the
There's
music.
the music.
Matthew gently wrapped his arms around me and went back to kissing me passionately. I could feel energy whiz about me, making me open one eye to see blue light glowing around us.
Oh boy!
When the light subsided, I was in my bedroom on my bed with Matthew above me. I stared as Matthew held a look of both lust and love. My heart skipped a beat simply from his gaze on me.
Yeah, let's give some like applause in the chat for Prophet's amazing reading skills.
This was okay. I wanted to see all of him and give myself to him.
Oh my god.
I gently guided his head to me, kissing him slowly and bringing him further into the mood.
Ah, I'm just a boat.
Matthew slid both his hoodie and his shirt off and tossed them to the side before cradling my head in his hands and kissing me deeply. I felt heat rise in my body, making me undo the tie underneath my collar and release the buttons on my own shirt. Quickly, I removed my shirt and vest, making Matthew stop kissing me and stare in slight surprise. I was simply in a bra, but I could feel a blush invade my cheek.
Michaela, why?
Michaela,
Michaela, why?
thank you. Michaela, thank you! My shy side began to fester in my mind. Did I really want this? To undress before a demon? No, this was the man I loved, and
God.
yet I felt my innocence drape over me in almost shame.
Help me!
I needed to fight it. I quickly rolled both of us over to where I was sitting on Matthew's lap, staring down at him. Matthew sat up, looking up at me with one of the most sexiest smiles I had ever seen.
Oh my god. There he is.
Yeah! Matthew pulled me close, knowing I was still shy, and began to kiss my lips over and over. Each kiss was his promise to keep me safe, keep me comfortable, love me. I kept my arms wrapped around Matthew, taking each kiss he gave and giving him my own kisses in return. I didn't know if it was the fact we were both top nude, or maybe I just craved his touch, but I didn't want to let him go.
Okay.
However, as he held me, I could slightly feel the shiver of his hands. Was I his first?
No, I read this one. Was I his first?
He wasn't going to tell me.
Oh god.
He wanted me to enjoy this moment, was afraid of screwing up. His shivering hands showed me his emotions perfectly. As he laid me down and knelt over me, Matthew smiled and finally embraced me as we both desired.
Oh my god.
Pleasure between us would be heavenly, and we'd go through it together. I closed my eyes and gave myself to Matthew.
Alright, back to
Nice.
me. You can wrap up the sexy bits. Go ahead.
My body, my mind, my soul, it all belonged to him as he held me. His body, his mind, his soul, it all belonged to me as I gave into his embrace. His kisses and fingers over my skin would forever engrave themselves into my memory as our passion rose through incredible heights. Our breaths and moans to each other equally sounded and echoed like a blissful chant we never wished to end.
Okay.
We kept moving, loving, feeling every inch of our bodies until we had had enough and I was enveloped in his embrace. Skin to skin, heartbeats matching, we held each other in the glow of the aftermath.
Okay, soap opera.
Oof. I'm okay.
Okay.
I nuzzled my head under Matthew's chin as he held me close.
I love you.
I love you too.
Aw. And back to reality. Thank you very much, Prophet. Give a round of applause for Prophet. Yay! That would have taken me 3 hours to get through that, so we're just gonna get to the chase. Just to hear those words come from Matthew, Matthew's mouth made my heart flutter. To hear me answer made my soul feel warm in glee. I could feel both us sink into a peaceful sleep together. It was the best sleep I had had in days, and I was happy. I had love, and I had my happiness. My life was simply perfect. Apparently that's the only way I can read properly. When I opened my eyes, I found myself staring into Matthew's bare chest. I blushed, but looked up to see Matthew still sleeping. His sleeping face made me giggle softly. But the reality of the situation made my heart flutter. I couldn't believe it. I was lying next to a man I had grown to love with all my heart. His warm embrace made me feel safe, and as the tender moment we just shared replayed in my head, I couldn't help but smile and snuggle into his chest further. Unconsciously, he held me tighter to his body, giving me more of his warmth. I didn't want to move, but then my core suddenly tightened and made me sit up without waking the man next to me. I felt my legs move and bring me to my balcony window. Thank you, brain. Where I opened the glass and stepped out onto the patio. And the bitch is here. Oh, I can't skip. I stared wide at Diana, who's... oh, right, because this is in Damien's route. I forgot. I stared wide at Diana. He has a different one.
Yeah, it doesn't let you skip them.
Boo! Who sat cross-legged on the railing of my balcony with her glowing red-eyed?
Yeah, red-eyed
stare upon me. I opened my mouth to object, but Diana stopped me.
Before you get all huffy, I didn't come here to take your precious man away. By the way,
better not.
How was it exactly? Demons are the best lovers, after all.
Prophet had fun.
I'm not telling you.
Prophet had fun. I glared. What do you want, Diana?
Well, I just wanted to see how you truly feel. You know, without him around to influence you.
Are you implying something?
What are you talking about?
I'm giving you an opportunity to come clean about these feelings of yours and to give you your salvation.
What was Diana up to? This was beyond crazy. Nothing she had done made sense. Why was I still alive at this rate? What's keeping you from just killing me and taking them?
You are not worth my time.
Not worth your time. What are you afraid of something happening? All at once, I felt my body being lifted into the air and moved past the railing, leaving me with nothing but the ground below to threaten me with a collision death.
Oh, trust me, dear. I'm not afraid to kill you. I can drop you right now and leave your body to rot until the morning when the boys would find you.
That would be an awkward conversation, considering I'm probably nude. Yeah, that's a conversation that Matthew probably doesn't want to have.
For multiple reasons.
I wanted to speak, but the thought of her letting go and letting me fall to my death scared my voice into silence. Diana then chuckled and wheeled my body back to the balcony, sitting me down gently.
Alas, if I kill you, then the boys would never come with me willingly back to the demon world, and then I'd have to chase them all around the world, or kill them and drag them back. But then their father wouldn't be happy and blah, blah, blah. Too much work.
Diana seemed very busy, business-oriented, as if the boys were cargo more than men. It irked me, but she then smiled.
I'm giving you one chance to denounce your love for the demon in your bed, and let me take him and the other boys back to the demon world.
Bitch, you wish. Oh.
Sorry, I had to yell at someone. And why, may I ask, would I do that?
There are so many reasons why, actually. There's the reason that he's a demon and you're a human, so you two can never truly have a happily ever after. Then there's the reason that demons truly do not know how to love, despite what he may proclaim. The list goes on and on. The point is,
bitch, you don't know shit.
If you give me the boys, I will promise you eternal happiness.
Everybody has the right to
How about no? I already have eternal happiness and he's over in my bed.
Eternal happiness?
That's right. I have the power to give you anything you desire. Power, men, women, money, fame. Name it, and it's yours.
Water,
The demon
earth,
never goes back on their
fire,
word, and
air.
I keep anything you
Long
wish.
ago, the four
Our deal
nations lived
is our
together.
contract.
But then everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
I could only stare in shock. This was a dream. It had to be. However, Diana smiled, an almost genuine smile at me, shaking me to the reality of the situation. She would never smile like that.
Don't you wish to be free of your destiny? Your father constantly berating you to become the next CEO of your grandfather's company.
No, I got James for that.
Yeah, we got James for that.
Yeah, no, that line doesn't exist. I got James for that.
The one time you will ever say that.
The one time I'll ever acknowledge that man's existence. I was almost floored in surprise. How did Diana know all of this? Because she's Diana. She was a succubus, yes. But how could she know anything beyond sexual desires? She wasn't Damien. Diana chuckled and leaned back against her arms.
Just because I play with hearts and sex doesn't mean I don't know my way around the human mind. You happen to be an open book of information, but I digress. I can give you your freedom with ease. It'll be like you were always meant to have it. All I ask is that you hand over the boys. What do you say?
Was I seriously being given this choice? The man I love for anything I wanted. A demon like Diana was powerful enough, yes. But did I want to consider giving up the man I loved?
No.
She must have been crazier than I thought. I glared. Absolutely not. Diana sighed and stood up onto the railing. What I wasn't expecting was her lifting me into the air. I tried to scream, but my voice suddenly became locked in silence. What was Diana doing? Diana made me float over to her, and she smirked as we touched noses.
Well, if I can't return home with the boys, I might as well return home with the power to fight back.
Diana finally leaned in and kissed me. I shut my eyes, feeling the need to bite her lips, but finding no muscles in my face listening to my mental commands. What did she do to me? I didn't want to enjoy it, but every single nerve in my body was flaring in excitement and pleasure as she kissed me. I felt my energy drain slowly but forcibly from my body. Was she using her magic to force energy out of my body? It seemed like forever, but finally, Diana pulled away from the kiss with a smile and a lick of her lips. She lowered me back onto the patio and chuckled. For some reason, even though nothing seemed to have changed, she looked stronger, powerful. It was almost like looking at a new Diana. Diana then stepped back off the railing, making me catch my breath in my throat. As she took another step away from me, she looked to be simply walking on the night air. Diana smirked at my sudden surprise.
May you never regret your choice, human. If you do, I'll happily come and take it away.
With a flick of her hair, Diana turned and walked away into the night, fading into the darkness like a shadow. I watched her
Bye,
fade.
Diana!
Goodbye, Diana! We throw her out the window.
We threw her out the window!
I watched her fade away before looking back to the man in my bed. Did I make the right choice? My heart gave me a gentle thump, giving me my answer. I did, and I will never regret it for as long as I live. I walked back inside and gently crawled back into bed with the embrace of the safest arms I knew. I snuggled close to the warmth before closing my eyes. I was happy. The rest of the story can almost be passed over. With Diana gone, my life returned to normal with school and my friends not remembering what had happened. It was as if magic never even appeared in the world. One thing was for certain, however, Matthew loved me and I loved him just as much. We had promised our lives to each other and nothing was going to take that away from us, not even time itself. Our love was so powerful it practically overwhelmed me with joy every time I found him holding me close every morning. To think, a demon in love with a human like me. It was unthinkable, unbelievable. It was practically impossible. But it was true. The other boys decided to leave on their own accord. They knew that my future would only need Matthew at my side, so they each decided to start their own lives in the human world. Matthew understood perfectly, wishing his brothers the best. Besides, Matthew had proven to be a man by finding someone to care for. His brothers didn't need to worry about him now that he was caring for me. I felt bad as well for being closer to Matthew than the others, but they reassured me that I was okay and that they would remain nearby should I ever need them. I was happy for that. They made me promise, however, that I would love Matthew for as long as we lived. That promise was instantly given. But what of my future? Well, it was kind of made for me. Before I graduated, James decided to step into the light of the Anderson Toy Company, and with the help of his demon powers and leadership charisma, he managed to influence not only the entire board, but my father as well into letting him run for CEO.
Yeah, thank you,
I was
James.
beyond shocked at how James managed to do all that because he's a bitch. I was beyond me. But when the votes were called, James had taken over the company, and I was destined to have. He vowed to respect the wishes of the late CEO and help the company become an even grander company. For a demon, it was simple to make a company grand. My grandfather would have been proud to see how James helped it shine. And besides, he's technically my brother, basically.
Yeah.
What? They are? Technically, with the CEO position filled, my father had no choice but to let me decide my future, which made me happy beyond compare. No longer would I have the future scaring me into a corner. I could choose my life on my own. That being said, I was still scared of what the future was going to where the future was going to take me. What did I want to do? What did I want to help James build the company? Did I want to venture off on my own? Matthew reassured me that he would support me and help me through whatever I decided to do. I was grateful and would never forget that promise. I was happy, and nothing could shake me down from that happiness. One afternoon, a good couple of years after the boys and I had met, I had a moment to myself, so I wandered my house and took in all that had happened as if it was all a dream. The demons, the devils, the magic, it was all surreal to believe. It almost frightened me to think that it could have been all a dream. But the warm feeling in my heart reminded me that it was all real. The demons, the magic, and the love I had, all real. I smiled as I held my hands to my chest, relishing in the feeling dancing within my soul. I let out a happy sigh before looking up and seeing where I wandered to. I realized that I was standing in the dining room. I stopped at the smell of baked goods. Taking a gigantic whiff, I let the smell of sugar and sweets fill my senses. Matthew must be baking again.
The man after my own heart.
I tiptoed over and peeked into the kitchen, wanting to know what he was making.
Almost done.
I watched as Matthew started to decorate an already wonderful-looking cake with blue and white frosting. It looked delicious. I was practically salivating. However, as I watched him, I smiled. He looked so concentrated in his work. It was adorable.
And there.
He's
Perfect.
always adorable.
Matthew stepped back from the cake, allowing me to see his masterpiece. It indeed was perfect. I wanted to taste it, and soon. That looks amazing, Matthew.
What?
Matthew quickly turned to me, surprised, trying to hide the cake as I laughed.
I'm not done. I mean...
Matthew! I walked over and smiled, giving him a kiss before walking around to the cake. Closer. It looks all the more scrumptious. What is this for?
Well, I mean, it's for something pretty important.
I looked to Matthew, raising an eyebrow as he wrapped an arm around my waist. What is it for?
Guess. I'll give you 3 chances.
What? Or what? What if I don't get it?
Then the cake is all mine.
Hey, no fair! Instinctively, I wanted to pull away, but Matthew laughed and dabbed some whipped cream on my nose from a nearby decorating spatula.
It's totally fair. Now just guess.
It is it your birthday? Matthew shook his head.
Nope. Second guess.
Girl, how do you not know his birthday yet? It's been a few years. You have plenty of time to celebrate. Matthew nodded. Before I could cheer,
I think
Matthew
you missed some stuff.
Oh, did I? Fuck. No. Oh, yeah, I did.
Nope. Second guess.
Oh, gosh. No.
Nope. Second guess.
Okay. Is it an anniversary? Matthew nodded, but before I could cheer, Matthew rotated his hand, gesturing me to continue.
Anniversary of?
I puffed my cheeks. I could memorize facts and lessons, but dates were bad. Feel that. It was like asking a girly girl when her boyfriend's frat party was. She would know. She would know. Matthew laughed before he kissed my cheek, making my puffed cheeks deflate.
It's the anniversary of when we first met.
Girl, how do you not know this?
Good.
I had practically forgotten. He was right. It had been a couple years since I moved and Matthew and his brothers. And met Matthew and his brothers. He threw a party last year for it. How could I have forgotten? Time definitely flew. How the fuck did you forget?
ADHD just be like that sometimes.
Yeah. Matthew. Matthew smiled at me, making my heart flutter and squeak. Squeak?
Yeah, you got it right. It's
Squeak. What? Squeak at once.
I want to celebrate it every year in a different way. Next year will be something extraordinary. For now, though, this cake will do.
Aw.
No.
I quickly pulled Matthew's head down with my hand and kissed him sweetly, wanting to show my appreciation with a kiss. He stared at me as if his greatest wish had come true. I fought back a giggle at the sight. Matthew gently pulled me to him, hugging me to his chest. I nuzzled into Matthew's chest, hearing his gentle heartbeat and memorizing its tempo.
I love you.
I love you too. Before I could finish, suddenly the cake had been sitting silently and peacefully on the counter, exploded into a giant mess on it. Matthew, luckily, was quick enough to pull us back before we got hit with flying cake pieces.
What the?
I looked at the cake to see a mischievous little creature standing over the cake, triumph at what it had done. I began to laugh as Matthew grew red-faced.
I'm in Tabby!
I quickly rushed over and grabbed Simon, who made a squeak noise in my hand. I was still giggling as Matthew came over and glared daggers at the white doll covered in cake. I calmed Matthew down, however. I stretched up on my toes and kissed him softly on the lips. Matthew stared but kissed me back, not wanting to let me go without a kiss of my own. I love you, Matthew. Matthew sighed before smiling at me, finally calm.
I love you too.
I didn't want to wake up if this was indeed a dream. I felt light as a feather, not wanting to ever let go of this man in my life. There was no words that could describe the emotion within me. I felt joy, happiness, ecstatic, high, all at once. Here I was, with a man I would be with forever. With a cake I would delight in, even in pieces. I had gained the heart of a demon. No, of a man I loved. I vowed to cherish him and love him for the remainder of my days and beyond. Could a demon love a human forever? I knew Matthew could. And that was my happily ever after. Matthew's cake.
Yay!
You certainly got that cake.
Yeah.
Woo! Okay.
Yay!
That's a wrap. That was fun.
You did
Where's
it!
my mouse? Oh, there's my-
Matthew!
All right. We don't have time to listen to the outro because we're already over time. But that was fun.
It's fine. We
Alright.
started late.
All right. I'm going to mute the game as much as I'd love to listen to it more. We've got other things to do. Thank you so much, Prophet, for coming to these streams. It's been an honor hosting you here. And this will definitely not be the last time you guys see Prophet on my channel.
Oh, don't worry. You can't get rid of me.
Oh, I'm very aware of that.
But yes, we have some plans for the future.
Oh, we've got plenty. Definitely some games where Prophet will be sitting on the entire time. So
Oh yeah.
there's
You
definitely.
other dating sims.
Oh yeah,
at
some
least.
that Prophet herself has purchased for me to play.
Yeah.
So we've got our fair share of adventures ahead of us. Lots of shenanigans are planned, and I'm sure we'll get time together to like play another round of Monster Prom. Monster
Oh,
Con
yes,
will
we
hopefully be coming out sooner rather than later. So
I think it's supposed to come out this year, so
yeah, it's 2025. It's added on Steam, so here's hoping.
yeah, so like, but even then, there'll definitely be some others.
Yeah, but
Other like, because there's a bunch of monster games.
oh,
to
tons.
play.
But we're gonna play some. But thank you all, little stars, for coming out to the stream. It's been an honor playing. I will be putting up a poll to see which boy we will be seducing next. James will not be on the list. as usual. Refused, rejected, denied.
Poor Jay.
I don't feel bad. But yes, the boys who are left are Eric, Sam, Diana, and then all of the human routes.
Yes, Diana, one of the boys.
Yes, Diana. Listen, those are the people who are left. All right. With that, thank you all so much for coming out. Me probably have shit to do, so we're gonna head out. But again, it's been so much fun. I hope you all have a wonderful night. I hope you all have a wonderful night. And with that, me and Prophet are out of here. Bye, little stars.
Goodbye and good night.